If you're only focusing in on the number on the scale or you're chasing that next quick fix diet, you're missing the deeper reason your body and mind are resisting that change that maybe you desperately are looking for.
Welcome to Talkin' Shit, the podcast where we get real about the unfiltered truths women face in the quest for perfection. I'm Jana, your host, a dietitian and fellow woman navigating the pressure to have it all together, the perfect body, career, relationships, and making it all look effortless. Who set that standard anyway? Here, we're calling out the diet fads, hustle culture, beauty standards, and everything else that keeps us feeling stuck. But we're not just venting, we're diving into how to break free and rewrite the rules on your terms. So grab a coffee or a glass of wine and let's talk some shit. Together, we'll uncover how to live a life that's unapologetically yours. This is Talkin' Shit. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to the Talkin' Shit podcast. I am your host, Jana. This is the place where we cut through the noise and have real conversations about health, weight, food, and everything in between. Today, I want to talk about a pattern that I see over and over again with women. The cycle of getting excited about weight loss, seeing some progress, and then slowly sliding back into old habits until they feel stuck again. And then the cycle repeats. A lot of women have shared with me that they feel like they have gained and lost the same 20 pounds for the last 30 years. If that sounds familiar, first, let me tell you, you are not alone. And also, your body isn't broken and it doesn't need to be fixed. Hi, I wanted to share something completely new with you, my how to eat fast food and lose weight guide. Because sometimes dinner comes in a paper bag through your car window, and no, that doesn't mean you failed at eating healthy. This guide was created for real women with real lives. From juggling careers or kids or both to those nights when cooking just isn't happening. I'll show you how to make choices that support your health, even when fries are on the menu. Inside, I'll show you the exact menu hacks from McDonald's, Taco Bell, Starbucks, and other major chain fast food restaurants that keep your blood sugar steady, cravings calm, and your jeans fitting. Grab the guide today. Go to my website, healthwins.org, and snag your instant download. But what most women don't realize is that staying stuck in this cycle usually has very little to do with willpower or discipline. The real reasons are usually rooted in three key areas: blood sugar, boundaries, and belief systems. If you're only focusing in on the number on the scale or you're chasing that next quick fix diet, you're missing the deeper reason your body and mind are resisting that change that maybe you desperately are looking for. So today I'm going to break down for you these three areas. And by the end, you'll have a new lens to understand why past attempts may not have lasted and what to do differently as you're moving forward. So first, let's start with blood sugar. My favorite topic as a dietitian and diabetes educator. This is something that I support women in, not only in my group coaching program, but also during one-on-one coaching. And I have a full course on this as well called Cravings to Confidence. When your blood sugar is unbalanced, you ride a roller coaster all freaking day. Maybe you eat a bagel or a granola bar for breakfast, or maybe you skip breakfast and your blood sugar spikes. You might feel okay for a little bit, and then very quickly you feel hungry or you feel that crash. Maybe you start to feel tired or cranky or hangry, and then you start to crave something sweet. It's not that you're weak or addicted to sugar. It's that your physiology is really pulling you towards that vending machine or whatever the thing is. Maybe it's a Starbucks run in the middle of the afternoon. So let me give you an example of this. I had a client, and let's just call her Sarah for today's podcast, who was eating healthy in her mind. She would have oatmeal for breakfast, a salad for lunch, and then by 3 p.m., she felt like she needed to raid her kid's snack drawer. She thought it was just a lack of self-control. But when we added more protein and fiber into her meals, that's when everything really started to shift because now we started working with her biology versus against it. And she wasn't fighting her body any longer. So, if this is really resonating with you, I want you to really take a look at now. I want to make this clear too. Balancing your blood sugar is not just for individuals that say are pre diabetic or diabetic. Balancing blood sugar is literally for every human being. We all have a pancreas. We all have a liver. We all have insulin that runs through our body. It's one of our biological functions that us as humans experience in this lifetime. So all of us need to balance out our blood sugar. And actually, one of the reasons why you become successful with weight loss is because we have balanced your blood sugar. So here's your action step is build every meal around protein and fiber first. If you want that energy, fewer cravings, and more stability throughout the day, this is where it starts. Because if your blood sugar is running wild, it's always high, low, there is no amount of motivation or mindset work that is going to stick because your biology will win every time. This is why I say we want to work with your biology, not against it. Okay. Number 2. Now, I will say this one's a tricky one. This one's a hard one for most individuals, and particularly the women that I attract into my world, because we are doers. We do a lot and we excel in so many areas of our life. And often when it comes to you and your health, that might feel a little bit different. Many women have shared with me, like, I have all my shit together in all these other areas of my life. How come I can't get this part of my life together? Well, it's because of this area. So let's talk about boundaries. Yes, I feel like it's like an F word or something. But yes, let's talk about boundaries. And you might be thinking, what do boundaries have to do with weight loss? Let me tell you, everything. Most of the women I work with are busy. They're juggling work, kids, aging parents, and endless to-do lists. They say yes to just about everything and everyone. And guess what gets put to the bottom? Their own health and well-being. I had another client, and let's just call her Maria for today's podcast. She was so dedicated to her family and her job that she would skip breakfast. Like, she wasn't even hungry. She would eat lunch at her desk because she wanted to like work through and just get stuff done. And by the time dinner rolled around, she was munching on chips and salsa while she was making dinner. She felt completely depleted of energy. And she then felt completely out of control with food because it was like, game on, bring anything and everything. I am hungry. When we worked on setting one boundary, yes, just one. For example, we worked to block out 20 minutes at lunchtime to actually step away and eat a real meal. So many things started shifting for Maria. She wasn't white knuckling her way through the day anymore. And her cravings started to dissipate at nighttime because she had actually fueled and nourished her body throughout the day, exactly what it needed. So if you're listening and you recognize yourself in this, I want you to think about one boundary that you can set this week that's just for you. Maybe it's saying no to an extra project or letting your partner know you need 30 minutes after work to move your body, or telling yourself you're not going to check emails after 8 p.m. Because here's the truth. If you don't create boundaries, you'll always default to stress eating, emotional eating, or exhaustion eating. Boundaries are meant to protect your energy, and your energy fuels consistency. Area 3, our belief systems. So let's talk about this. Your belief systems, the stories you ultimately tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of. So I hear this all the time. These are comments that women share with me of, I'm just bad with food, or I've always been the big one, or I can't lose weight. My body is completely broken, or my metabolism is wrecked. And when you carry those beliefs, you unconsciously make choices that reinforce those beliefs. If you believe you're destined to fail, you don't even notice when you start to slip up because your brain is saying, see, I told you so. But here's what I want you to know from both science and also my personal experience. Beliefs can be rewritten. You can change the internal dialogue that you give to yourself. So I say this not only just from science and how we know that the brain can be rewired, but also from my personal experience of losing 50 pounds and keeping it off. It wasn't because I found the perfect or the latest best diet out there. It was because I stopped telling myself the story that I was broken and that my body needed to be fixed. I shifted my belief from I'll never change to I'm someone who can change, even if it's slow. So here's a little exercise I want you to do. Grab a journal, piece of paper, pen, and write down the story you've been telling yourself about your body and your relationship with food. Then I want you to ask yourself, is this actually true? Or is it just something that you've repeated so often that now you believe it? That awareness is the first step to rewriting your story. And you very much so have the opportunity and the choice to rewrite your story. So I want to leave you with the big picture. If you've been stuck in the weight loss cycle, it's not because you're lazy or weak or lack discipline. It's likely because you've been focusing in on the wrong piece of the puzzle. If your blood sugar isn't balanced, your biology is going to be working against you. If your boundaries are non-existent or inconsistent, your environment is working against you. And if your beliefs are always negative, your mind is working against you. When you align all three, your balanced biology, you protect your boundaries, and you have empowered beliefs about yourself, that's when real lasting change happens. So this week, I want you to choose just one of these to focus in on. Maybe you add protein and fiber to breakfast, or maybe you set one boundary around your time. And hey, maybe you say no. That would be a good one. And maybe you write down the belief you're ready to let go of. Let it go. Let it into the wind. You no longer believe this anymore. And remember, success is not about perfection. I don't need you to get this perfect, but it is about progress. All right, friends, that is it for today's episode. I hope that this conversation helped you see that health and weight loss are not just about your willpower or your motivation. They're about aligning your biology, your boundaries, and your beliefs. If this episode resonated, I encourage you to share it with another friend that maybe needs to hear this too. And if you want to dive deeper, I encourage you to check out my programs, my courses, my coaching. You can go to healthwins.org and find all the information there. Until next time, I'm Jana, and I want to remind you that your body does not need to be fixed. It just needs to be loved. I'll talk to you soon.